What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody is doing well. As you can tell by the title of the video, we're going to be talking about how you can actually farm up some efficient material to feed the Helminth to actually fill up that Bile category, which is honestly the worst category out of every single Helminth category. Bile is quite literally the only one I struggle with. You get all these super rare materials, yet you want me to cough up so much of them just to feed this thing? 30%? Whatever, dude. Today I will be going over a few resources that I like to feed this motherfucker so that he's not constantly starving, and whenever I actually need Bile, I can just give him some of these materials and not worry about feeding him at all. The number one material that I actually feed the Helminth for Bile is Void Gel Orbs. You can get this on the Zariman from killing Zariman enemies, or you could just find it in the loot containers on the Zariman as well. And on top of that, you could also use extractors and have a chance of getting them every 8 hours. While extractors definitely aren't the most efficient out there, if you're looking for a good passive way to actually farm some of these materials, extractors are definitely nice to have. You can only use 3 extractors at a time, and you best believe one of those extractors is always on the Zariman. Next material we're going to be talking about is morphics. There are quite a few different ways to get morphics. However, my preferred method is actually a sabotage mission on Mars. The mission in particular is Gradvius on Mars, and sabotages already don't take that long, so whenever you actually get the sabotage done, you get to run around and actually loot some containers, which means you're pretty much going to always end up with morphics at the end of the mission. And depending on the planet you're on, morphics can actually be a really common resource, which is why my last 2 extractors are actually focused on morphics. Whenever I'm actually trying to get morphics with an extractor, I usually deploy the extractor on Mars and Mercury. The next material we're going to be talking about is quite a simple one. It's just nav coordinates. You get these from killing Grenier as well as loot containers in pretty much every mission in the game. And to be honest with you, I don't use nav coordinates for anything else, so this might be the most clutch material on this list, minus the Void Gel Orbs in my opinion. So if you have some nav coordinates that are taking up some space, I definitely recommend feeding them to the Helminth for Bile. The next material we're going to be talking about is quite up for debate, but if possible, I do actually recommend you feed the Helminth some argon crystals if you have some extra just lying around. Now, I know argon crystals are quite rare, so I can see why people wouldn't want to actually use the argon crystals they have, especially if they have something else they want to build. But if you're at the point where you don't really need argon crystals at the moment in time and you just happen to have some, definitely recommend feeding them to the Helminth. They can be somewhat of an efficient way to feed the Helminth, especially if you're not using them for anything else. And the last material we're going to be talking about are actually javlok capacitors, which are a guaranteed drop every time you kill a prosecutor. The fact that these guaranteed drop from prosecutors honestly makes them a pretty decent farm. You mainly find prosecutors in Grenier shipyard missions on Ceres, so you can just load up one of those shipyard missions and hunt these prosecutors down over and over so that you can get some javlok capacitors. And yeah, 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to use javlok capacitors for anything else in the game. I mean, of course, for crafting the javlok itself, right? But once you got that, you pretty much can just farm these over and over and feed the Helminth. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much going to be it for this video. Just wanted to make a quick little video on the methods that I use to farm up Bile. And if you got some Bile farming methods that are pretty efficient for you, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Before this video ends, real quick, just wanted to say thank you guys so much for all the support on the channel. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much going to be it for me. With that being said, thanks for watching.